Dinshaw Irani joining us of Helios Capital Management, Gaurav Shah, President CII Bihar chapter also with us. Welcome to both of you and thank you so much for speaking with us today. I'm actually going to start the conversation with Gaurav Shah, if that's okay. As the President of the CII Bihar chapter. Mr. Shah, what do you want from this new government which has been given a pro-incumbency vote, a vote of faith from the people of Bihar? What does industry now want to see?
See, firstly, thank you for having me here. Since we are on NDTV Profit, I would like to state what profit this mandate brings to Bihar. So not only Bihar, but India's growth story as well. So I often say that investing in Bihar is like investing in a company that has all its fundamentals strong, waiting to be listed. And the valuation is just not right. So this mandate is a clear signal that it is the right time to invest in Bihar. When we speak about what actually the industry looks forward from this government is this policy continuity, the stability that it has already bought, the policy reforms that has already been there. Investors' confidence will come automatically, and there will be a long-term predictability. So this all are the right ingredients for Bihar and the next government that will be taking over. Apart from that, the immediate expectations would be like on these rallies that political parties have done, or rather BJP and the NDA government have done. A lot of EV manufacturing units and sugar units and pharma parks in Begusarai, industrial parks in all the districts of Bihar that have been announced, and we're looking forward to the executions of the same.
Okay, Dinshaw, I want to come to you on this one, because generally when you speak from the lens of a fund manager and somebody that invests on behalf of others or looks at the market and invests, the amount of attention that you will pay to a state election may not be as much as certain other people. But having said that, would you say that this provides a blueprint for elections down the road in state elections? And would you be paying attention from that standpoint? And do you worry at all about dole, about freebies that are giving out?
Thank you first for having me on your show, and a very good afternoon to you and your viewers. Actually, I've been on the road for quite a while now, last couple of weeks, because we're launching our small cap fund. So I went and met most of the distributors out there. And one of the biggest concerns was, by the way, there was a lot of skepticism on the streets. Very skeptical about the markets. In fact, I heard things like 10-20% kind of corrections. And one of the reasons was that BJP is going to lose Bihar. That was one of the big excuses being given out for being so skeptical on the market. I think that's answered for sure. So that's one big hurdle out of the way. I think the next two hurdles are more or less also, one of them was debt, US debt and stuff like that. I think that's been around for a while. So I don't think there's a problem there. And third one, let it be, it was about geopolitical crisis. So I think basically the fact is that this big hurdle, which is out of the way, is very positive for the markets, one. Secondly, you talked about the way forward for other state elections. I think this was a one-sided election result which came out in favor of BJP. So I'm sure, rather NDA. So I'm sure this going forward also, the other states where there's so much of skepticism and stuff like that, I think that answers a lot. And frankly, I mean, Rajya Sabha majority is what I think the NDA wants to look forward to, and this will help in a great way. And about the doles bit, I think that's a part and parcel of all. You saw that happening in the US also, right? So we can live with that. As long as the demand side picks up appreciably, I think we don't have a problem at all. In fact, one of the questions that Tamanna was asking, that what if Trump again backtracks on whatever he's promised? I don't see that to be a problem, because I think it's domestic demand which is to prop up the economy rather than anything else. So that's it.
So then why, Dinshaw, hi, Tamanna, why are markets sulking today? Because, I mean, in terms of what could go right from a market's perspective, everything has. You have a good set of Q2 numbers, and you have some nice numbers today as well, which is showing turnaround stories, etc. Overall, even the broader markets basket has performed well. Bihar elections have shown up no negative surprise, if at all a positive surprise. I mean, no real reason for Nifty IT to also sulk, because you don't have an AI dependence which is hurting NASDAQ.
No. So, Tamanna, actually, I think this is where the story is. There's a bit of a disconnect. So, I think biggest overhang today is IT on the markets. If you take away IT, probably I don't think the markets are going to be that down as they are today. I'm talking about the broader indices. Yeah. So, anyway, so IT, I think the bigger story is not being AI dependent on anything, but I think it's about disruption from AI, which is going to be overhang. For some reason, I think we've been ignoring this. I mean, this big elephant in the room, and nobody's ready to answer that. So our feel is that we remain very negative on IT, and going forward also we're negative on that. And asking about why the markets are sulking. Well, that's anybody's guess. As I said, there's so much of skepticism on the street today. Maybe it'll take a while for things to absorb, to soak in as such. And yeah, I mean, as your previous guest put it, probably one trigger could be the reversal of the stance that US has taken against tariffs on India. But that'd be a midterm positive. I think the bigger positive will be if this demand growth continues, if this bullishness that one seen in the last quarter of September, which continued into October. And I think one of the big positives that one saw in the morning itself was the PMI for the services index, and also for the manufacturing, where the labor has come up. I mean, as in the employment opportunities have come up. I think that's a very big positive, which everybody's ignoring as of now.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I want to ask Gaurav about as well. Gaurav Shah, representative of CII Bihar chapter, and I think a lot of people focus on the economics of this, right? Because let's face it, Bihar has a long way to go, a lot of catching up to do. So the question I think that people are asking from the outside in is that what will this large mandate bring to the state now? What industries, in your opinion, can get that fillip and leg up? And do you see movement on the ground as soon as the next couple of months?
So you just spoke about the freebies that the government has just offered, or the people, the political parties have been offering. So people are taking it negative, while I take it as positive. So while if you see the promises are as big as Bihar budget, or maybe at few parties have gone beyond Bihar's GDP as well. So now some find it alarming, but I have a positive angle to it. When any government commits such scale of spending, it automatically commits itself to raising more revenue as well. And the only sustainable way to raise revenue is rapid industrialization, more enterprise, more jobs, and a broader tax base. So as for industry, we read this message as a clear message. Bihar has no choice but to do industrialization aggressively. Growth is not option here. It's no more an option. It is an essential now. And that's why I see a very bright and transformative 5 years ahead, provided we now convert this mandate into executions.
Dinshaw, I'm guessing I know your answer already, but I'm just trying to understand still. When Chandrababu Naidu got elected, there was this whole talk of companies in that state that you go out and try and see and buy into, etc. It happens for a few other states. I'm guessing for Bihar, as of now in the listed space, because the presence is low, nobody will probably try and do that kind of a trade, right?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so, Neeraj. I think as you rightly mentioned, there are hardly any companies or corporates listed in that space which are of any material presence. So I don't think that's going to happen.
Got it. And I just one quick follow-up, Dinshaw, I heard you say that save for IT, the markets would have been doing well. The small cap space, the actual index is also doing well. You reckon towards the end of the year, we end this year with a bit of a flourish in that, because two of the three key conditions that the markets were looking at, earnings, the Bihar election, and the trade truce, two of those three have actually turned out fairly okay.
Yeah, actually, Neeraj, that's what I'm saying, that I think the markets are, I don't know what trigger they're waiting for, but frankly, I mean, I think this is a good opportunity for any investors looking at value, getting in and buying his pick, and that's what we're doing. In fact, that's why we're timing our launch of a small cap, because I think a perfect time when there's so much of skepticism in the market is when you want to pick up these small cubs which are going to grow into big lions or such. So I think that's where we are today.
On that note, gentlemen, thanks so much for joining us today. Pleasure having you on the program, and appreciate the insights.